All right, everybody, let's get right to it. For those that are unaware, I posted a video about a week ago showcasing user-generated content for EmuVR, which turned out to be a video of me hyping up something you guys don't even have access to. That is because, of course, the source of all this user-generated content, or UGC, is a Discord channel that has since, at least at the time of this recording of this video, has been paused for newcomers. So it seems I casually walked into a Discord channel that, just in time, not knowing the door was closing and locking behind me. Well, after asking around within the community, it appears the invite links into the Discord have been paused for several reasons, but the biggest are, one, crowd control, because EmuVR is essentially run by one guy, and two, quality control, because so many people were dropping so many things so freaking quickly. Most of the stuff in there is pretty great and high quality, but some not so much. Some can look pretty janky, some are glitchy to the point of breaking the game, or are not optimized, which can cause lag and other performance issues. At any rate, the point is that while I hope the Discord opens up soon to newcomers in the future, at the moment it is closed. So I know a lot of you guys were really disappointed in the comments, but fear not. As I promised, I am here to share the wealth. Consider me your guy on the inside. So, here we are. And I apologize it took me so long to get my crap together and get this video up. For one, I was waiting on the reply of one guy on the Discord channel to see if he would be cool with me sharing the links to his drives, because he's kind of like the primary donor of all the UGC. But in the end, he felt more comfortable just leaving them within the community, which I can totally respect. On top of waiting for his answer, I have a crazy busy life. I have a wife, I have 3 young kids, I have a full-time job, and 2 side gigs. FYI, I'm a martial arts instructor, and I'm also an author. Plus, I need some time to relax once in a while, play Final Fantasy VII Remake again before Rebirth drops here in a couple of weeks. By the way, as a quick 30-second tangent, if you want to check out my novels, I have 4. A high fantasy trilogy heavily influenced by growing up with JRPGs, and another standalone literary fiction novel. So if you're interested, go check out my website in the description. The first book in my trilogy is free if you get the ebook, and you can also listen to the first book for free on my author YouTube channel. Also link in the description. Okay, back to EmuVR. So here's what I've done for you. I've put together a Google Drive that all of you should be able to access, which contains all the UGC that I currently have, plus more, and anything I download, and drop in my own room in the future, I'll be sure to put into those folders as well. I'll be updating it probably a couple times a week. Most of the stuff in there is pretty much just ready to go. You can kind of just drag and drop it into your folder, and boom, there it is. There are some things, however, that do require a bit more finessing to make work, like different colored game cartridges, for example, which we will go over in just a second. But what I really think would be fun, so please sound off in the comments and let me know if you think this sounds fun, but I think I could try doing a live stream maybe one day on YouTube, which I've never done before, but that way we could all jump in together. I can pull up the Discord, share my screen, we can browse through it together. You can let me know if anything in there catches your interest, and I'll just drop it live right into the folders. I think that'd be really fun to do. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, let me know in the comments. All right. So a link to my Google Drive with all the UGC stuff is down in the description. So if you feel like you know what you're doing, go dig in, start browsing through, and get started. But if you want to stick around, I am going to walk through a quick review of the basics and then show you a few other trickier things. So let's go! Okay, so as soon as you click, I've got my anime villain glasses on right now. As soon as you click the link, you'll be taken here, or you should be. Hopefully it works. But you've got cartridges. I've divided it into cartridges, props, screens, systems, and this custom media text file, which I'll explain in a second. But first and foremost, let me just show you this. Props is going to be your go-to thing to start with. So if you remember from my other video, let me minimize this so you can see here. Okay, so here's my EmuVR folder right here. This is you can see the EmuVR folder. This is the first thing you come to. In your custom folder, you're going to want to make a file called UGC, which I explained everything kind of in my last video, but in there, you're just going to drag and drop these .ugc files. Okay, so these are all the props. These are everything you can just pull out of the menu and drop into your room. They don't really do anything. They're just there for looks and decoration. So that is props. So if you come in here, you'll see I've dropped quite a few to get started with. And you'll just need to come over here to the download button and download it. But let's run through a couple of these so you can get an idea of what's in here, and there might be a few I need to clarify. So you've got a few plush stuffed animals, cassette tapes to replace the standard cassette tapes, some extra snacks, those Megazord toys you saw up on my shelf from Power Rangers. These EGMs is Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine, so there's just some select issues there you can drop into your room for fun. A lot of this stuff is self-explanatory, but Galaxy Explorer, this series are the Lego pieces. I will warn you, these are high poly count models, so they may slow your system down if it's not a very powerful system. The boxes to some of the Game Boy systems that you can just put on your shelf. There's a lot of display cases. Game Boy cartridge display, you might have seen those in my videos, those little tiered cartridge displays, that's what those are. The desktop keyboard, let's see, what else would need some extra explanation. The mouse doesn't do anything, by the way. That's the computer mouse. You got controllers everywhere, and I just learned today, actually, on the Discord that the PlayStation 1 and 2 controllers can actually be plugged into the systems. I don't know what they do. I haven't tried it, but go crazy and see if you can figure that out. The Nickelodeon clock. Yes, I had somebody comment on that, and it was like, that is my kindred right there, because I love that thing. You've got your Final Fantasy VII statues, a decorative plant I just threw in today, actually. A PS2 memory card, which is fun. It's just a prop. It doesn't work, but an extra stool, some VHS shelving, which I actually haven't even put in my room yet, but I saw it was really cool, etc., etc. So that is what is in the props. Just go ahead and drag and drop those right into your prop folder, your UGC folder, rather, in your EmuVR files. Okay, so let's go back. We have screens. That's a simple one too. I only have two in here right now, the computer monitor and this big old fat wooden CRT TV, like the big 70s kinds that like sit on the floor and weigh 800 pounds. It's pretty big, but have fun with that one. Both of these you can just plug the systems right into and they should be good to go. Systems. Okay, so we've got the systems that I showcased in my last video, like the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the desktop tower. These are all systems that you can put discs into or cartridges into. Now you'll notice there's like DVD case, jewel case, NES slip cover, which is like those black covers that you put your NES cartridges in, those little plastic ones. The reason they're in systems is because system isn't just game players. It's anything that media can go inside, like it officially inserts into it, like a case. So that's why those are in here. You have your PS1 with the LCD screen. I've also dropped some arcade machines in here for you guys to get started. Street Fighter arcade cabinet, that's the old one. The old Star Wars arcade cabinet with like the wireframe TIE Fighter shooter things. I'll show you a clip of that here in a second. And then the Mortal Kombat 2, which is my personal favorite, and the Gauntlet arcade cabinet is also in there. I believe also the cassette players. I think that's all for systems. So let's jump back now and go into cartridges. This is the one that takes a little more finessing. If you don't care about having colored cartridges, you're just ready to go. Just drop all those in there, all the things we just looked at in there, and go crazy. But if you want to get specific, and have like your Pokemon Red cartridge on the Game Boy be red and your Gold Ocarina of Time cartridge or whatever, you're going to have to go through some extra steps. So here's what it looks like. Oh, I remember something important. Sorry, tangent. The systems, I didn't clarify that the DMG new original color, This is the old brick Game Boy. Stands for dot matrix Game Boy. So that was probably would have been confusing, but that's what that is. Okay, so back to cartridges. Basically what you need to do, is I'm going to pull my EmuVR folder over here. Typically you'd have your games folder, and you'd have, right, Nintendo 64, NES, GameCube, whatever. But you can see my Game Boy is broken up into colors. Game Boy Color black cartridge, clear cartridge, gray, and red. And then I also have a Game Boy Advance, regular, and then black. And I also have a Nintendo 64 regular, the gray, and a gold one, which of course is just Ocarina of Time. So basically, make a folder for each color that you want and drop the ROMs of the appropriate games in those folders. That's easy. But from there, you do have to take one extra step, and that is going into your Game Scanner folder. And you're going to want to drop this custom media file right here that I've put in my drive. You don't have to edit it or anything, just download it and drop it as is right into the Game Scanner folder. What it looks like is this. Don't ask me why, I'm not a programmer, I don't get it, but this is what you had to do to make it work. And they provided that in the Discord. So it basically is just telling EmuVR that these different colors are their own like systems or whatever to render it into the game or something. So once you drop that text file in there, all you need to do is open up Game Scanner, which can take a second. There we go. And you're going to want to update core data, which will break the Game Boy games out like this. Core data is basically finding the emulator for each system and dropping it in your EmuVR game. So if you update the core data after you've made those folders, it should detect Game Boy, Game Boy Black, Game Boy Clear, and all the different differentiations you made. If it doesn't, you can come down here and hit Add Folder, and it'll just let you pick manually which one, so not a big deal if it doesn't detect it. But you do need to do that and make sure that this media tab here, these drop downs, are set to the same thing. You can see it gives you tons of options in here. Again, I'm not really sure why. That's just what's built into the Game Scanner, and just make sure it matches whatever color your channel is here, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. That's the best explanation I can give from one noob to another. I believe that is it. And then you'll want to, of course, as always, scan games for new ROMs that you drop in. So hopefully that's helpful. And that's pretty much it as far as getting those game cartridges going. You can see I've dropped more in here than I've been using myself, but it's pretty much every color you can want for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Okay, I think that is it for now. I'm happy to, as I've been trying, as you've seen, I've been trying to keep up with the comments. I really like talking to you guys. It's really fun. But as I mentioned before, I have a very busy life, so I apologize. I can't really be support. I can't really be on standby for support. A, because I probably won't be very helpful anyway, and B, I just don't have as much time as I would like. But definitely leave a comment if you run into problems. I'll try and address it and get it answered. Hopefully I didn't forget any gaps that like everybody's super confused about. But I just want you guys to get going and have fun with it. So I think that's pretty much all I have for you for today. Like I said, I'll add things into the folders as I get them. And maybe we can try and do that live meetup if that's something you guys are interested in doing. Before I go, I'm just going to dive into the room one last time, show you a couple cool things visually so you can kind of see how it looks in-game. Mainly the arcade machines. I took some notes here. Oh, and somebody was asking about the Game Boys. They said that's cool, but it's really awkward to like play in VR like that with like the teeny little console in your hands or floating in the air or whatever. I agree. You can still hook them up to the TV as is. So let me show you that now. Okay, we're back once more. I've added a couple fun things that I've also dropped in the folder for you. Some Nintendo powers. Our little cute plant back here. I might need to put another bench back there to elevate it up a little higher. Anyway, what I wanted to show you guys is the Game Boys can indeed be hooked up to a screen. And I'm sorry my my feed seems to be jittery. I'm not sure if you guys see that as well, but let's throw like Pokemon in. And if you just reach to the side of the Game Boys, the little, I don't know if you can see that, but the little like hookup jack prompt will pop back up, just like it does for any other system, and you can pull a cord out. It's like a link cable. I'll just plug it into this TV for now. Whoa. Let's unplug the Super Nintendo, plug it in there, and then once you click it on, you're on the TV. I have never done it on this big screen. That is wild. I kind of love that. Wow. I was wondering if it'd duplicate on here or not, but it looks like not. So you can just put this up here, I guess. There you go. So, yeah, you should be able to just lock into the TV as you normally would for anything else and play the game. Oh, that's cool. As soon as I disconnected it, it jumped right to the console. That's cool. There you go. I haven't actually tried that yet, so that's fascinating. Arcade machines. Let me show you this really quick. Gosh, I hope you're not seeing that big old stutter in my room. I think it's when I'm streaming my headset. I've probably loaded it with so much junk in here that it's finally catching up to me. But anyway, let me go to my menu. There's the arcade cabinets. Oh my gosh, they're so cool. You remember this guy? The Star Wars one? I guess I could just, I have a room. Well, let me jump to the other room so I can show you what it looks like. I just made just sort of a crummy room to test arcade machines in. So no decorations or anything. But look how beastly these things are. This is where we really need different floor plans for the rooms in EmuVR, because we need to make like an arcade room, right? With like the cheesy like 80 color, neon carpet and like all kinds of cool stuff. So, but basically here's the cabinet. Let me lock it in place, which is awesome. Look at that. Raiden on the side. Yeah. There's our Star Wars one. That's just so cool. Gauntlet, like the old Gauntlet. And then the first Street Fighter cabinet here. Very old school. So ugly. I need to get like the Street Fighter 2 one. But basically you just download the arcade ROMs just like this. And they come on a generic cartridge just like any other system would. Whoops. And the tricky part is every arcade cabinet model has a different place to like slot the game in, and it's sort of hard to find where it is. I actually don't know where it is on some of these. I need to look up and figure it out. I do know where Mortal Kombat is though. I did plug that one in. It's right here. You can see it's just like invisible. But as soon as you move the game into the right spot, it should click in. Did I just ruin it? Oh, probably needs to be facing the right direction maybe. I'm still figuring out the arcades because I haven't played with them too much yet. I broke it. It won't go in. Let me reload the room. Nope, not that. Because once I found how to put the cartridge in, I saved it, so I wouldn't have to do that again. It'll just be in there forever, which is great. So yeah, turn on the cartridge, or the cabinet. Lock in so I can play it. If I can remember how. Again, I'm pretty new to the arcades. There we go. There you have it. Mortal Kombat 2. That is so awesome. Especially if you get the net play going with your friends. They come and join in your room. I mean, just imagine standing side by side right here playing. That would be a blast. I don't have any friends, though. All right, guys, so that is pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be looking out for your comments. I guess I can take this off so I can look at you while I'm saying goodbye. All right. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one, and I'll keep an eye on the comments for if if you run into any trouble. But otherwise, enjoy the user-generated content. Talk to you next time.